Guys, society has lied to everybody. From a young age, you have been told the more hours, the more work, the more graft, the more volume that I do, the more success I will receive. But the guys that are ahead of you, living the kind of life you want to live, do less work than you. Now that's a very frustrating position to be in. Knowing you're just as competent, knowing you're just as intelligent, but they just seem to attract more success. They seem to have access to a gear or a level that you haven't discovered yet. It's not about more hours. It's not about more volume. It's about potency, clarity, energy, efficiency. It's very, very easy to match the level that they operate at once you understand in depth the differences between what you're currently doing and what they're doing. And that is exactly what I'm going to outline in this video today, guys. I'm going to go over a framework that I use inside my team, 5 steps to self-mastery. Today, I'm only going to go over the first 3 steps because you only need the first 3. If you want the full 5, if you want the video that I give to my clients, there is a link in the description. You can shoot me a message on WhatsApp. Literally on this phone, direct to me. I will send the video over and that will be a full in-depth breakdown of all 5 steps. Watch these first 3 and it will make so much sense, and then go for the full in-depth video. Don't do that now. Finish this video because it's going to make a lot more sense in the context that we're talking about it in. You think you're a high performer because you're doing all of the shiny things that high performers do. You're listening to Andrew Huberman. You're trying to stay up to date with all of the latest biohacking. You're doing cold plunges. You're timing your caffeine exactly how Andrew Huberman's told you to time it in the morning with electrolytes. You've probably got a fucking Athletic Greens subscription for fuck knows what they charge now. You are a retard if you buy Athletic Greens, by the way. So if anyone's watching this and they have Athletic Greens, please cancel that subscription immediately. But you're ignoring the fundamentals, guys. Like, you're doing the end thing here, right? The 1%ers, but you're ignoring the 99%. So a high performer up here that's making a lot of money, that's operating with clarity and energy, he's doing all of this. And then if he wants to tag on a cold plunge, the newest trend, the newest supplement, he just tags that on to the end. Now, if that is effective, it will have an impact because he's doing the 99%. You're ignoring this and you're just tagging on this one thing at the end. It's never going to work. So shiny object syndrome when it comes to like productivity and efficiency and self-improvement, eradicate that now, guys. Like, as you're watching this video, you move forward now and you no longer have shiny object syndrome when it comes to this topic. Stop looking at that, focus on the basics. Sleep, hydration, movement, nutrition. I'm going to cover this in more depth when we get to the actual framework and we jump into step 1. But another way to think about this, guys, is like the guy who wants to project to the world that he is earning a lot of money, but he's not, he's broke. Now what he does is he buys, real or fake, he buys designer gear. He wants to show to the world and to himself, right? He wants the feeling of, yeah, I've got money by buying, again, the end thing. But it's only the end thing, so it doesn't change the fact that he hasn't actually got money and he's fucking broke. He's ignoring the 99%. So if someone's really fucking wealthy, this 99% from a financial standpoint is like mortgage, house, family, rent, living costs, da da da. And then if they have money at the end, then they'll buy some nice designer stuff with the disposable income that they have. That guy's skipping all of that just to do this. But that doesn't mean by buying the end thing that you get all this. And it's the exact same with you guys, right? We need to flip it. We need the priorities to be inverted because they are already inverted. So we need to revert them back into the order that they should be. That's one issue. Second issue, you're distracted. You haven't got control of impulses and you don't have full emotional regulation. You can't have group chats pinging off. You can't have your phone on the desk. You can't be checking social media between tasks. This shit will not run. It's stealing your attention. It's stealing your focus. You come back to work, now you're foggy. So you're breaking the momentum. You're breaking the pattern. We have to get rid of that. Now, inevitably, guys, setting up like this is going to cause some level of inconsistency. And inconsistency is one of the reasons why you're working so hard and why you're working harder than the people that are in front of you. Because you have to catch up on the week or the 2 weeks where you fell off while doing this week's work. And when I say work, guys, I'm not just talking business and work. I mean catching up on fitness, catching up on the boxes that you needed to tick. You went off course with nutrition, now you've got to get back on, right? That's fucking you up. So we have to eradicate that. Success requires three things in any field: time that you put in, energy that you bring to the day and to the task, and focus, your ability to remain focused as you're doing the task. All three of those are impacted heavily by the way that you're currently operating. That needs to be fixed ASAP, otherwise you will remain in this position forever. I'm going to go over the first three steps now, guys. If you want the full 5-step breakdown, WhatsApp link in the description. So step one, guys, performance essentials. This is the precursor to success. It sounds incredibly basic. Do not overlook this, right? This is why you're in the position that you're currently in. This is why you're watching this video, right? I've been through this. I've taught other people how to do it. Just listen. Sleep, nutrition, hydration, movement. If one of these four things suffers as a human being, your life suffers. Eating bad, not training, not getting enough sleep. We know the impact that this has. It's incredibly negative. It's destructive, right? So we have to cover those. If at any point in your life you're experiencing friction, you're experiencing a bit of a problem, look at those four first. Make sure they're on point and then work through the other steps that I'm going to cover. Step two, guys, is daily momentum. We need to make sure you're growing on a daily basis. There's a couple of ways that we ensure that happens. The first is structure. We have inside the program an FP7 daily momentum blueprint, 7 habits to keep your routine anchored in, to keep you structured throughout the day. Not only does it give you structure, but the habits themselves give you full emotional control. Emotional control is very, very important. Impulse control as well ties into this. The guys you're competing with, they don't worry about what their feelings are like when they wake up and whether they get stuff done. They just get it done. You need to be that guy. The only way you become that guy is if you stop listening to your feelings from a work sense. You need to listen to your feelings, guys. You need to process that. The FP7 actually covers that. But you need to be able to be the guy who can just fucking get it done. Otherwise, you will never compete with those guys. The second thing we have to do is remove friction and remove distraction. At the minute, you are so much more distracted than you realize you are. Until you regain control, only then do you understand, shit, I was causing so many problems within my own day. Group chats are pinging off. It's right on your desk. You're picking it up between tasks. A 2-minute job on your phone checking an email turns into 15-20 minutes scrolling on Instagram. This is fucking you up, guys. It's stealing your focus, your ability to remain in task. So we need to eradicate that. We need to gain back emotional and impulse control, and we grow daily through the FP7 habit system and device control. And also what ties into removing friction, guys, is information diet. We need to unfollow all of the people on social media that do not add to the larger mission. We need to stop watching the news. We need to tune out from all of the mainstream bullshit because it's pulling your attention and your focus away. And when you come to sit down and do work, that's why it feels so fucking boring. That's why you're looking for distractions. That's why you're picking your phone up, because your attention is already being sapped from the minute you wake up. Don't check your phone. Unfollow as many people as you possibly can. Never tune into mainstream media. Never read fucking clickbait articles. You gain so much energy back by doing this. Now, the next step here, guys, is identity and environment design. The person you're trying to be, he's different to who you are right now, because the current version of you attained this position that you're in, the position you're trying to progress from. So we have to change how you think. We have to change how you operate in order to go to the next level. This version of you has served its purpose. It's done a good job in getting you to this position. But now you've been at this position so long that you need the next step. Well, then we have to rebuild you from the inside out. Not only from the inside out, but we have to structure your environment in a way that's going to support growth. We need to think about the type of man that you're trying so hard to become. Let's say that version of you is in better shape. Let's say he's leaner. Let's say he's jacked. How would that version of you act in new social situations when he walks into a room of new people? How much more confident would that guy be? You have to embody that now. That's a difficult thing to do for some people because they feel like they're faking it. But That's part of alignment, guys. We have to think in the shoes, in the mind of the person we're trying to become, as well as acting in line with it. So if that's your goal right now, if you're trying to drop some body fat, if you're trying to get lean, you're trying to get jacked, you have to do all of the intentional actions. You can't just think about this shit, guys. Like, you've got to have a fucking bulletproof plan in place. Obviously, nail your macros, training, expenditure, all of that shit has to be on fucking lock. You can't miss a beat with that. But alongside that, again, it's this stuff, guys. It's like this analogy I was using earlier. That's the 99%, right? What we also need to do, which is still very important, is now put ourselves in the shoes of that version of us that has the thing that we're working towards. So that's the identity rewiring. That's the identity alignment that we need to go through. What we also must do on top of that is environment design. We have to be around people that are doing or have done the thing that we're trying to do. Don't listen or take advice from anyone that doesn't live the lifestyle or doesn't have something that you want to attain, because their advice is fucking worthless. So what you need to do is find people in this fucking world of 8 billion people, right? You have to find a group of motherfuckers that are doing the same shit that you're doing. You have to surround yourself with people that are operating at a very high standard, and if you slack around them, they're going to say, mate, what the fuck are you doing? I thought you were serious about this. That's who you need to be around. We've all got our fucking old mates from school. We've all got our boys, our bros, but they're not always the best for this journey. Now, they serve a purpose for one part of your life, but you need to add in another group of people for this next chapter. I'm mates with all my boys, but I surround myself more often than not around the people who have already achieved the thing that I'm trying to achieve. If you don't address these three things, guys, you will be stuck in that position forever. This is absolutely crucial. This is a non-negotiable. Now, again, if you want the full 5-step breakdown, WhatsApp link in the description. I will send you over the training I use with my guys. Shoot me a message, I will ping it over. This happened to me at the start of 2025. It was February. My business was losing revenue about 30% over a couple of months, and I couldn't really figure out why. Sometimes in coaching, at least I'll speak from experience here, guys, there's just months where it's not as busy. That's just part of the game, right? So I thought it was that. What I didn't realize was I fell into the trap of business isn't doing what I need it to do. Okay, clearly it's the amount of work that I'm putting in. I need to do more hours. I need to do more volume. I'm going to grind even fucking harder to rectify this. I'm going to bed later. I'm getting up early. I was going to bed at like 11 o'clock. My alarm would go off at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'd get 5 hours sleep. And I'm thinking in my head at the time, this is mint. I'm getting an extra 2-3 hours work done every single day because I'm going to bed so late. I'm getting up so early. But it just bites you in the ass. It bites you in the ass. And I was continuing to lose revenue beyond that point because of that. And that was just one of the 4 performance essentials, guys. That was just sleep. Nutrition, training, and hydration were all on point. That was just sleep. 95% of the time, the answer lies within you. Rarely does it live in the external world. It is always pretty much internal. You have to look inwards to fix something outwards. Now, it was around this time, guys, I think it was February, maybe March, where I created this 5 steps to self-mastery framework. I created the FP7 blueprint, and I was the first guinea pig of that. I haven't broken it since then. I've been completely loyal and locked in to the process since then. I'm now living in Koh Samui, in this fucking villa. But yeah, business profit, business revenue at an all-time high. I feel the most clear I've ever felt, the most productive I've ever been. I'm at peace. I'm sleeping fucking 8 hours a night, straight off the bed like that. No worries, no stresses, no anxieties. This is it. You know, this is how you're meant to live as a high performer, guys. This is no coincidence. Understand that, right? This is no coincidence. This is cause and effect. Following the blueprint, and then this is what happens externally. Address the internal, the external always follows. Remember, guys, you are the asset. As a high performer, as someone trying to achieve big things, you are the asset.